Well, welcome. Glad you could join us this afternoon. I'd like to thank Steve Lehman and the Charlottesville Municipal Band for their lead into this ceremony. And at this time, I would like for everybody to rise as they play the Star Spangled Banner. My name is Stephen Meeks, and I served this year as co-chair of Celebrate 250 along with Mark Belials. I'm also president of the Albemarle Charlottesville Historical Society. So it is a pleasure again for me to stand before you today at this ceremony to enshrine a time capsule that is placed before you. Bear with me as I turn back the calendar to 1761 to help set the stage as to why we have assembled this December day. The chain of events that leads to us today begins with citizens in what was to become Amherst and Buckingham counties, counties who had successfully petitioned the colonial government to split Albemarle County up. The Albemarle Courthouse, which like most courthouse complexes, are traditionally located in the centers of the counties for which they served. However, after that split in April of 1761, the courthouse was no longer in the center of the county. As a result, the county secured a new location near the center of the remaining landmass of Albemarle County. The site selected a 2-acre plot, which was the high point of a much larger tract of land to which the three-notched road ran on its way to from Richmond to the Valley of Virginia. Additionally, this area of Albemarle lacked any village, community, or business enterprise or trade activity. The site selected is the same site on which the current Albemarle County Courthouse stands just a few blocks to the east of here. Having acquired that larger tract of land surrounding the courthouse, agents of the county then sought to sell that land by establishing a town. Thus, in late 1762, an act was presented to the House of Burgesses that read, "Whereas it is represented to this present General Assembly that 50 acres of land contiguous to the courthouse of Albemarle County have been lately laid off into lots and streets for a town, which would be of great advantage to the inhabitants of the county, and if established the town for the reception of traders. Be it therefore enacted by the Lieutenant Governor, Council, and Burgess of the present General Assembly, and it is hereby enacted by the authority of the same, that from and after the passing of this act, the said 50 acres of land so laid off as foresaid shall be and are hereby established as a town, to be called and known by the name of Charlottesville. It was further enacted by the authority aforesaid that the freeholders and inhabitants of said town, as soon as they had built upon and saved their lots, according to conditions of their deeds of conveyance, shall be entitled to and have and enjoy all the rights, privileges, and immunities granted and enjoyed by freeholders and inhabitants of any town in Virginia." On the 18th of December, after a third reading, the act was approved and sent to Lieutenant Governor Francis Fauquier for his signature. Fauquier was the acting governor of Virginia, as the Crown Governor, Jeffrey Amherst, was an absentee governor. Thus, on the 23rd of December, 1762, exactly 250 years ago today, Lieutenant Governor Fauquier did indeed sign the act, thereby creating Charlottesville in the wilderness next to the courthouse. Where I am now standing was once on lot number 8 of that new town. Lot number 9 was behind you. And just to the left, across what is now Jefferson Street, just across Jefferson Street was the county. So that was the original town limits. The first boundary expansion came in 1792, which included 20 acres beyond Jefferson Street to include High Street. This 20 acres was developed by Charlottesville's very first land speculator and developer, John Jewett, the father of Jack Jewett. Today's ceremony is the last of a series of events that were held throughout 2012, beginning with first night nearly a year ago to mark and celebrate Charlottesville's 250 years. I hope that many of you have been able to experience many of these events that we have worked on and partnered with throughout the year. On first night next week, we will be exhibiting at the Omni Hotel all the exhibits that we have produced throughout this year to mark the end of this celebration. By definition, a time capsule is a historic cache of goods or information usually intended as a method of communication with future people. Included in the time capsule before you are many items intended to showcase what we have done this year as part of Celebrate 250, as well as share with 2062 some defining documents of 2012, such as yearbooks from city schools and the Hook's annual year in review. We have included letters from many officials, such as the mayor, Senator Warner, and Congressman Hurt, that were written to be read before an audience in 2062. Also included is a letter from Larry Sabato, who reportedly used his crystal ball to make a few predictions 50 years hence. For those of you in attendance, I hope that you have signed our registry book, for that too will be included in the time capsule to be open 50 years from now. Based upon the experiences with the 1962 capsule, we have chosen not to bury this capsule. Thus the term enshrinement. Rather, it will be put inside the McIntire Building here in a very safe and secure location to keep it high and dry and easily accessible 50 years from now. Additionally, all the items included have been archivally packaged and packed. Our wildest guesses cannot tell us what life will be like in 50 years from today, but we do hope that the technology will still exist, albeit it may just be found at the Smithsonian, to read, view, and listen to some of the electronic storage devices we have also included. What unimagined challenges, political, social, and economic, will the people of Charlottesville face in 2062? We can't know the answer to these questions, but by preserving a bit of our history today, we are giving future generations a window into how we lived and worked today. Hopefully they will take some courage and hopefully some inspiration by looking back upon the gifts we have given them. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to introduce Brian Wheeler of Charlottesville Tomorrow, who is actually our most kind and generous sponsor of today's event. Brian?
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Charlottesville Tomorrow is a community news platform, and we cover growth, development, and local politics. And we do that to help you make informed choices about our community's future. It's been an honor for Charlottesville Tomorrow to be a corporate sponsor of the time capsule, but also a partner of Celebrate 250 and the many great events that happened throughout the year. And I do want to thank the committee and Steve in particular for all the hard work that went into Celebrate 250. We formed Charlottesville Tomorrow because this is a very special place, Charlottesville and Albemarle County. And when I think about 50 years from now, my hope is that they will open that time capsule and they will still think that Charlottesville is a very special place, and that decisions will have been made, probably by some of the young people here today. Decisions will be made to make sure that our future is a quality one, and that this place is protected and treasured. So thank you, and thanks for having us. And I'll introduce the mayor, Satyendra Huja.
Thank you. Thanks for coming here, and I want to thank the committee who organized this celebration also because they did hard work. I decided to write a letter to the citizens of this community 50 years from now, 2062. So I'm going to read you the letter I have written to them, because I'm sure I'm not going to be here to listen to it again in 50 years. So I have talked to at least one younger person in this audience who's young enough that she could be here from 50 years from now. And she's promised me that she will remind them about me. So at least let me read you the letter which I have written to the residents of Charlottesville in 2062. I want to introduce you to Charlottesville of 2012. It is a great and beautiful community, ranked one of the best places to live in America. It has a diverse population, which is one of its strengths. It is a historic but very progressive city and home of University of Virginia. The year 2012 has been an eventful one. We had visits from President Barack Obama, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and many other interesting people, such as musician Bruce Springsteen and Charlottesville-based Dave Matthew Band. The focal point of the city of Charlottesville is our downtown pedestrian mall, which is like a community living room, the heart of our community, with shops, cafes, restaurants, housing, art and culture, and civic functions. The city has a council-manager form of government, where the city council is elected by the citizens at large to make the policy of the city. We encourage citizens to participate in making our policies. The city manager administers the implementation of policies and programs with assistance of the city departments. Some of our favorite local traditions include the Dogwood Parade, the First Night Virginia, which occurs on New Year's Eve, the Virginia Festival of Books, the Virginia Festival of Film Festival, First Friday, where art galleries open their new shows every first Friday of every month and are great fun. We are one of the oldest municipal bands in the country, and I'm very glad that you're here to play, and hopefully you will again be playing 50 years from now also. We have one of the oldest municipal bands in the country, and they give free performances for the community at the Paramount Theater and other locations in the city. One of my favorite celebrations in Charlottesville is the 4th of July naturalization ceremony at Monticello. The city of Charlottesville has 4 sister cities: Poggio, Chiaro in Italy, Clement, Bulgaria, Besançon in France, Winneba in Ghana. We enjoyed various exchanges with them, which is enriching each of us. I wish to share with you my personal background. I was elected mayor in January 2012 for a 2-year term. My city council term expires in December 2015. I'm originally from India. I follow Sikh religion, but I also attend Unitarian Universalist Church. I was director of planning in the city of Charlottesville for 25 years and director of strategic planning for 6 years before retiring in 2004. I also teach courses in community planning at University of Virginia School of Architecture. I want to send the very best wishes to you all from the current residents of Charlottesville in 2012 at the opening of this capsule in the year 2012. Satyendra Huja, Mayor.
At this time, there's an opportunity for any city council member to come up and speak. Any takers? Dave? Dee Dee?
Happy birthday.
Okay. Okay, you hear that, folks. We gave a couple of politicians the opportunity to speak, and they did not. But thank you for coming. Okay. Maurice.
Thank you, Stephen. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you today as we close out our year of celebrating our 250th anniversary. It has been an amazing year for Charlottesville. Dozens of activities, including a laser show to kick off the new year last year at First Night, Virginia, numerous talks about our history and our neighborhoods, exhibits throughout our community, a history festival for the first time, our grand gala, and a wonderful civic ceremony just a month ago. It's been a marvelous way of recognizing our past while celebrating our present and preparing for the future. I'd like to take a moment to thank a number of people. There are so many people who made this happen this year, but I'd like to specifically point out a few folks. Our co-chairs of the Celebrate 250 Committee, Stephen Meeks and Mark Lyle, Rick Barrick, Becky Clay Christensen, George Benford, and the entire Celebrate 250 Steering Committee. They worked very, very hard and deserve our applause and thanks for everything they did for us this year. Thank you all very much. It is my hope that when the good folks in 2062 open this time capsule, they will do so knowing that we were, in fact, good stewards of the many blessings we've been given here in Charlottesville. That through our actions, this community protected and in many ways enhanced the natural beauty of our environment. That we were committed to a strong, diverse economy that helped to ensure continued economic growth well into the future. That we promoted arts and culture in our city because we understand how important it is to the fabric of our community. That we were committed to identifying the talents of all of our residents and helping them reach their full potential through education and opportunity. And that we celebrated and embraced our differences, understanding that those differences, when combined with the American spirit, make our community and our nation stronger. It is my sincere wish that when our friends and neighbors celebrate our city's 300th anniversary, they will be able to look back and acknowledge everything we were able to accomplish in an effort to make their community and our community a better place to live. It is our job to rise to the occasion and make that happen, and I feel very strongly that we are up to that challenge. Thank you all very much for being here today, and thank you for celebrating our 250th anniversary.
Thank you, Mayor and Maurice. We are indeed fortunate today to have many honored guests. In addition to Mayor Huja and City Manager Maurice Jones, as I mentioned, we have at least two council members here. I don't know if anybody else, Dee Dee Smith and Dave Norris. But also we have at least a dozen individuals here who hopefully are here who played in the municipal band during the 1962 bicentennial celebration. So if any of these individuals are here, if they would stand as I read their names so we can recognize them. Emily Goodwin, Jerry Bauer, Peggy Madison, Joe Goldsmith, Nancy Lowry, Clara Mincer, Larry Garrison, Tom Bibb, Charles Terry, Tyrone Bauer, Jim Simmons, and Eleanor Dickerman. I think it's a real testament to their dedication to have been with the municipal band that long, and we really appreciate seeing them here today, and again, hopefully we'll see them in another 50 years. There are also other people in the audience that I know were here in 1962, and I'm sorry if I don't know all of your names. I know Ed Roseberry is here. I know he was here. If there's anybody else here who would like to stand and be recognized, we can do that now. Just Ed? Okay. Thanks for coming, Ed. As I said in the beginning, we have many honored guests, more than I can name. But who are these other individuals? They are all you. You have each honored me, the city, and each other today by coming out on a very chilly Sunday afternoon, 2 days before Christmas, to help celebrate Charlottesville's anniversary and to bear witness to the sealing of a new time capsule. I would be remiss not to mention a few other people who assisted me in making this day possible and others who helped throughout this entire celebratory year. Maurice has already mentioned some of them, so I may duplicate some of the names. In addition to Maurice helping, there are other people in City Hall that contributed. Joe Rice, Terry Bentley, Teresa Pollock, Paige Barfield, Michelle Christian, Miriam Dickler, and Dave Dillahunt. I thank each one of you for helping out with today's activities. And just in case I've overlooked any other city employees, we have included a list of all the city employees in the time capsule. Assisting again throughout the year, we've had the invaluable help of Rick Barrett, Becky Clay Christensen, and Sarah Malin. In case you haven't met Sarah, she is selling some souvenirs that celebrate 250 produced this year. They are also being included in the time capsule. So if you want your own copy, go see Sarah. We had a great committee this year helping out. Mark Blau, again, as I mentioned earlier, was my co-chair. Other individuals like Heather Walker, Morgan Perkins, Edwina St. Rose, to name just a few. And just so I don't overlook those that have to work with me on a day-to-day basis, I need to mention 4 individuals who helped me throughout the year inside of this building. Our archivist, Carrie Matthews, Emma Ernst, Margaret Freeman, and our most resourceful librarian, Margaret O'Brien. And he's not here today, but another individual I really need to thank is Rick Bickhart, who's been responsible for a lot of the graphics, the design work that was done throughout the year. He actually designed the logo we used. So each of these individuals have been of tremendous support to me to celebrate 250 and the city. As we prepare to seal the time capsule, I would again like to have you turn your attention to the Charlottesville Municipal Band as Steve Lehman leads the band in a playing of Celebrate 250, a special march that was written by Gary Fagan, one of their own. If you haven't signed the register, there's still time. We will make sure it gets included where the time capsule is going. So don't feel rushed. Once we finish here, you'll still be have an opportunity. Okay. We have Joshua and Joshua, Joey, and Jenna, who will close the time capsule and seal it. Close the lid. Thank you, gentlemen. And while we're doing this, I would like to charge each of you to return here in 50 years to ensure that it is reopened in a timely manner for the 300th anniversary of Charlottesville's founding. As I said, the time capsule will be enshrined inside the building in a safe location. This basically concludes the official portion of the ceremony. We're going to carry it inside, and I would like to invite everybody to come in and partake of some refreshments we have inside. The municipal band has a few other songs they will be playing while we depart here. Any other last words? Again, it's been a pleasure to have served this year. I would like to do it again in 50 years if I'm still around, but we'll have to see about that. But hopefully these young people will be here to represent all of us and maybe some of you as well. So again, thanks to each of you for coming out and supporting us throughout the year. It's really been a pleasure.